Welcome to Not Ready for Primetime, episode 14.
14.
15.
Slash
part
you did
2.
8 and 1.
Because the time we watched 8 movies in a row.
Oh, you counted them all.
I counted that as 8 episodes of Not Ready for Primetime. They were all not ready for primetime.
Yeah, I would agree.
That's good. Sit on your gizmo. Okay. Can Dee Dee find a good spot?
Name
So you get to color me in. So you get to color me in.
I almost said his name.
We're doing it.
Alrighty,
We
go
definitely
for
need
it.
video of this.
And I'll just sit in the middle like,
You're in the middle.
so that way we can
You're
get
not
a
just
view.
drawing a penis, are you?
There you
Oh
go.
yeah.
Nice. Well
Oh
done.
yeah.
Let me see how even.
We need hair strokes
Oh wow,
now.
that's really even.
Okay, let's see. Okay,
Oh, wow, that's something.
we're really doing it right now.
You do a stipple thing.
The nipples are the eyes of the face.
Okay, wait. Do we want to do a chin moment too?
How about
Yeah,
this?
like-
We continue playing the game. Next.
Okay, next person gets to add
Gets
more.
goatee.
Okay,
All
and
right.
then the next person gets to put you in a little ponytail, little tiny pony.
Eventually, if we keep doing
Tiny
this,
pony.
Mini pony.
pubes.
Move, Dee Dee. Wow.
I wax
You just need
especially
more?
for this.
I want that area sanitized.
I always wax for your videos, but it never comes up.
I said in the last one that this would be a 3-part episode about the skull, and then part 1 was split into 2 parts. So this is like a 6-parter, essentially.
Wow.
6 parts.
Are we going to have to watch more Seagal after this?
Oh Lord.
we could take a break and do a different video.
No, I want to get it all out of the
Eventually.
way.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna say we should just
it's like ripping off a Band-Aid.
Yeah, or flushing a really big
appreciate
turd.
that. You gotta do that in a couple steps, babe.
Yeah, but you don't like flush the turd,
You need a
go away, drink some coffee, pee on it, and then try and flush again. You like sit there and you get it all done in one go.
You need a poop knife.
Yeah.
I've seen that. I don't want to.
It's a
No.
Reddit story, the poop
Nope,
knife.
No.
I'm lost here.
Do you want to explain poop knife?
No.
It's about this.
I
So
don't.
Scott is like, yeah, if you take a big poop and it won't go down, in your bathroom, you have a knife and you cut it and then it'll go down. And his family did this. His family had a poop knife and he thought this was a normal thing everyone did. And so he was like at a friend's house. He's like, hey guys, where's your poop knife? What the fuck?
Excuse me.
What weird thing did you have in your house? What was your house's poop knife?
My family, for some reason, what we called remote controls Eber-Debers until I went to college. With all my friends that I just made, and we need to turn on the TV, I'm like, oh, where's the Eber-Deber? And everyone just looks at me, they're like,
Why Ever-Dever?
Eber, with 2 B, Eber-Deber.
That doesn't help me with the why question.
Why? Why?
I don't know why. My family doesn't remember why.
Where's the Ever-Deber?
It's just us and them.
Vampire hunters,
Ex-military guys who were trained to kill.
led by a master swordsman,
We're here to decide who lives and dies.
will stop at nothing to save the human race.
We're gonna make it, even if it kills us.
Steven Seagal against the dark.
What are you gonna do?
I'm going hunting.
On DVD.
Just a couple minutes into the movie, oh, I get it. It's like Shitty Blade.
Shitty blade.
Oh.
Poop knife.
Poop knives.
Shitty blade.
And then about halfway through the movie, I like pivoted. I was like, oh, okay, now I really get it. It's like shitty Resident Evil. About 3/4 of the way movie, I realized, oh, no, I get it. I really, really get it now. It's like shitty I Am Legend.
I
Wow.
Imagine the book.
Yes, the book.
What a roller coaster you went through.
It was a real roller coaster. It was more of a roller coaster than the film itself.
We really are the monsters now. But there's still hope. What happened? I don't know. There was just this freak. He was like one of us, but he wasn't. And I seen that.
Is it a zombie movie? Is it a vampire movie?
They debate that
what is
within
it?
the movie itself. All that I can tell you is that the characters all agreed that these things are monsters.
Monsters or demons or whatever.
They're not monsters or demons.
Now that there's more of them than there are people, the people are the monsters,
which is I Am Legend.
which is the
Exactly, I
main
Am
crux of I Am Legend.
Well, I feel like any good zombie media tends to go into like humans are the real monsters.
But this isn't a
Right.
zombie movie, technically.
But they are zombies.
But why?
When you turn the movie on, you're like,
Yeah.
this is a zombie. They're 100% zombies.
At one point, it says that they're vampires, and you're like, no.
And entire cities were wiped out. Many surviving humans like us were left to fend for themselves, moving around during the day and hiding at night.
I feel like vampires tend to have a sense of like regal, of like
They're not just mindless monsters.
Yeah.
They're like,
They're like-
people that
they're like sexy.
These things,
Yeah.
these are
They got a lot of time.
Yeah.
They got a lot of time to get really good at being sexy.
I know.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But then one of them is like filing her teeth down to be
Yeah.
like a vampire
she's
sort of.
somewhat intelligent, as if there's some sort of evolutionary phase happening. Like,
it's-
It
very
doesn't go
quickly.
into that?
Not that.
No, this movie did not have the mental capacity for exploring its own
So
themes.
at some point, they're like, oh yeah, they're evolving, and so there are a few that are like infected, but are like still
And can talk.
can
Wait, so
talk and
who's
aren't
Seagal?
crazy.
Is he one of the zombie guys or is
He's
he
a
one of the hunter?
He's a hunter.
He's a hunter.
What do they call the hunters?
Why is he hunting
Hunters.
They call them hunters.
them? Is he trying to find something?
No, they're just going around hunting them.
To like eliminate the infected or just to
Yeah,
like
they're
get
like-
out some aggression?
They talk about like zones to clear or something.
Yeah.
But
Let's get this boy out of here, take him to a safe place. We're not here to decide who's right or wrong. We're here to decide who lives and dies.
so the script is about zombies. Steven Seagal doesn't like zombies. So he decided that it shouldn't be zombies. And what about vampires?
That's the confusion.
They didn't.
So
want to
in the
rewrite
movie,
any
they're
of it at
like,
all.
oh, maybe they're vampires. And one of them sharpens their teeth. And at one point, they're like, maybe they're mutants. And it's like, does that matter? So tell us about the characters.
2 or 3 nondescript men and 2 or 3 nondescript women. Except apparently this virus tends to kill ugly people first.
Interesting.
Because everyone left is like
It's a
mildly
Hollywood
attractive.
virus.
Yeah, it's a Hollywood
Safe,
virus.
y'all.
The infected extras.
It kills ugly people first, leaving the hot people to repopulate the earth.
As it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Pepper.
So the cast, what is happening?
She's smelling me extra
I
good.
thought she was chomping something.
She kind of is trying to. She's giving me lips.
He's not infected.
There's like leader, sort of charismatic man, and then there's like a kind of just a regular straight man, I guess. Another tall
Oh, a
man with
stoner.
brown
There's
hair.
a stoner dude.
But then there's the obvious, the wild card, the guy who like is getting drunk all the time.
Put that shit out.
I'll smell it.
Give me a break. There's none of them around.
Who, of course, what happens?
Excited that they're in a hospital because there'll be pills everywhere.
Yeah.
Speaking of the devil,
What are they?
Mother's little helpers.
So what happens with this guy in a zombie movie? There's always this character in every zombie movie.
Are you bleeding?
Oh, it's just a little cut. I must have found something when I got knocked out in the bathroom. It's just a little scratch. Relax, it's not like I'm infected or anything.
But it's like, oh, I didn't get
It's
bitten,
fine.
and hides it.
Oh, yeah.
And then he
It's a
turns
classic
into a zombie.
trope.
Did that even pay off?
No, because he didn't fully turn. He just
Yeah.
got eaten by zombies outright.
Instead of becoming.
Which I feel like
hardcore
if
zombie
you
boy.
turned, the zombies would just like sniff you and be like, oh, you're spoiled, and move on. That would have been more of a payoff.
Yeah.
And then he would have realized like, oh, I'm one of the. That would have been a
Could've
sweet
been.
payoff.
Could have been something. So there's those 3 dudes. Then there's, 2 or 3 women. There's probably a blonde and
Yeah,
a brunette.
because there's, like-
this entire movie takes place in a hospital.
In a single night.
In
In a
one
single
night.
hospital on one floor, technically.
Is it
because
all on the one floor?
Why would they go up
I don't know.
if they're trying? Because they're trying to find an exit,
Why?
a specific exit, because that's where their vehicle is.
Why'd they go in?
Because it was
remember.
better than being outside.
Okay, so what happens if the generator fails before we reach the cell level?
Then the security door won't open and we'll be trapped.
Yeah, they go to hospital for some reason, and then they have to get out for some reason.
Because
I don't
that's where all the
remember.
sick people are?
No,
And it takes
I think
them-
they're everywhere. It's like all over the world.
It takes them the entire night of wandering around a single floor of a hospital.
We're in the same 4 hallways.
They got Ricky. If we don't get moving, we're all gonna end up the same way.
There's a part where they find like a kitchen.
They find a room full of mannequins?
Yeah, I don't know what that was about.
I wrote, why would a hospital need an entire room full of mannequins? Not like medical grade mannequins, like Macy's mannequins.
What would a medical grade mannequin
You know, when you
Oh,
can
like
practice
a
CPR
CPR
dummy.
Oh, okay.
That makes
or
sense.
something
Yeah,
like
I
that.
could see that.
CPR.
Just keep following me, okay?
There's a little girl in the crew of survivors
Yes.
too. The crew of survivors are in a hospital. They're looking for like food, I guess. They find like a kitchen area, and there's
Yeah,
like
they find a lot of food. They have like
Yeah.
a real feast of canned goods.
yeah,
and
they don't like
non-perishables.
we'll save. They're like no, let's just open everything
Let's
on this
lay it
table
all out.
and like dump it out.
How long do you think this food is?
Spilled all over the
Charcuterie.
table. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, this is a very zombie apocalypse
I think I
charcuterie
wrote
board.
like, oh, so this is your first zombie apocalypse, is it? The world may never be the same. It's
Yeah, after the zombie
may never be the
apocalypse.
same.
Things may never be the same again.
Yeah, that's
this-
a definite.
This isn't like when it starts.
Uh-huh.
We're like
There's no like
weeks into the zombie apocalypse.
yeah, we're
here.
some amount of time into the apocalypse. Seagal, tell us about Seagal, because he's not in this crew.
No, he's in his own crew that's prowling around this zone. He's got a pretty good zombie killing technique. It's Aikido, chop chop.
Yeah,
Chop,
he's got
chop.
a sword.
Aikido, chop chop.
Of course,
chop, chop.
there's a sword.
That's his technique. He like walks around with the sword unsheathed,
Behind his back.
like he's Guts from Berserk. Just a sword held out all the time.
Not very safe.
No, it doesn't seem very safe. Like he's
Yeah.
always ready for action.
He's got a crew with him. There's like 4. They're all in like black leather.
Black leather trench coats.
Trench
They all
coats.
watch The Matrix.
All right, we gotta get going now.
So what, you saw one?
You might say that.
Oh wait, that one guy who looks kind of like The Rock. He was like the action star of the movie. Seagal was not.
I don't even remember this character.
He kind of looked like The Rock.
The Stone.
Yeah.
Stone,
The
it was
Stone,
Stone
the pedal.
Phillips from Dateline. We're cutting between the crew of survivors they're just trying to live. They do a lot of like, I don't know what the world will be like after this. Oh, you gotta be tough, shit like that.
It may never be the
Yeah.
same.
And then you cut to the hunters, and it's just Seagal and 3 other people in trench coats walking around with katanas. And
Yeah,
it's
slicing
no
people up,
suspense.
shooting.
Not really excited. They just
monsters.
walk up and cut them down. They're like, that was easy, and they walk
Yeah,
away.
they just cut them like butter.
The whole movie looks like a TV show. It all looks very cheap. Wide
Yeah.
shots. It basically is like if we got swords. It's like that. It's
Oh.
wide shots TV. They just
No,
showed up
it's
in a
very
building.
green
they're
and
like,
gray, like olive drab, gray,
Very dark.
brown.
Talk to me about Keith David.
Oh,
Do you know Keith
I wrote.
David?
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
Keith David. He's the voice of Goliath from Gargoyles. He was in.
He's a black guy who talks like this.
Yes.
No, he's got
Yeah,
a way
that guy.
better voice.
It's
Keith
way better than
David's-
that. I'm not doing a good Keith David.
Yeah,
but-
Keith David's main feature is his incredible voice. He was in Tales from the Hood too. He
tell
was
me- tell me-
underused in this movie.
He was used very well for the 4 hours they had him
Yeah.
on set.
Keith David stars in this adaptation of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
What's our status?
Yeah, he plays like this dick general who like wants to just
I'm in charge, and I'm going to bomb this sector. And they're like, but we have good guys there. He's like, I don't care.
There's really like four
and then we
people
cut
and a
back
bunch
to
of
that.
numbskulls in a hospital.
Yeah.
I'm on Keith David's side. Just carpet bombing.
We're gonna sterilize the area. Tell him to get out of there.
Well, that's a hell of an idea. I wish I'd thought of that.
Mr. Cross, I'm in charge here.
So of course they get out just in time before the bombers.
Yeah, nobody's
wipe out.
communicating these facts to the hunters.
Which is exactly in Tomorrow War. You remember that?
Yeah.
They're just like, we're gonna carpet bomb the city. You gotta get out, I guess. And I'm like, why are you carpet bombing the city?
They just want
We
to
just
carpet
gotta
bomb.
do that right now,
Well,
so that
it's
there's
like-
some urgency to the end of this film.
It's like if you have the budget, you gotta use the budget. Otherwise, they take it away from you. So you.
for the carpet bombing.
Yeah. So that
You're talking the military budget.
Yeah, the military budget,
Not
the
film
cinematic.
budget.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. We made these bombs. We gotta use them now, else they're
Yeah.
gonna go bad.
This is
Like
how
that
it
broccoli I bought last week. I gotta cook that whether I want it or not.
So it puts
That's
this
so
ticking
real.
clock on it that they're like, they've gotta like find the exit
But
of
there
the
was
hospital
already a ticking clock because they needed to get to
Before-
their car before daylight.
daylight.
Because daylight it's safer outside.
So couldn't you just go out at any time once the sun's up? It's
I
not
think
dawn.
they wanted to like maximize their daytime.
They gotta max.
These people are.
Gotta make the most of your day. So now Keith David's gonna bomb the sector, like the sector, but it's like they're in one building. Like, is that the sector? Is the
zone.
sector this one?
zone.
The zone is the zone this one hospital? At the end, they do bomb it, and I think it's just like the hospital blows up, and they have just gotten out the door and they're fine. The whole zone was we bomb the hospital. If you're 20 feet from the hospital, you're fine.
You're fine.
Is that where it started?
We have very specific bombs
No.
these days.
In the
It's-
hospital?
these people just wander in. They're just like looking for food or something. This is just a random location.
Bombs work the same way in the movie I watched. It was a very tight bomb.
Very tight bombs. We got
Tight
tight
bomb.
bombs.
Yeah.
Tight
bomb on that one.
So I've got a fun Air
Explosive.
Force.
Oh, valuable poops are tight. Money is tight. Oh, are you having money problems? No, what?
Aviation angle to take on this. You guys will all appreciate this.
I will.
When the bombers, the fighters, take off to go bomb it, we see an F-15 take off. Later, we cut to
I fast forwarded through most of this.
Later, we cut to stock footage again of a plane, and it's an F-16.
Alright, let's go.
Continuing on inbound approach. Point 7 Zulu.
Later, we cut to stock footage, and it's an F-14.
Oh.
We are on course and on schedule.
And then later in the
They're
bombing,
going back. The planes are getting shittier.
then during the bombing, it's cutting between several shots of like, oh, and then a bomb drops, and oh, in this plane, we see F-14s, 15s, 16s, and 18s.
What about 17?
There isn't an F-17. So they managed to get stock footage of 4 different types of plane to bomb one hospital. So like if you want to defend it and say, oh, it was a big bombing situation, they used that many planes.
For one
they blew up one
place.
hospital.
That's why they need you as a consultant.
I mean, all you got to do is look in the meta. It's like, oh, this is footage of an F-15 dropping bombs. We'll just use them all. You know, we've got the budget. Got to use it. Let's buy all the stock footage we can.
Okay.
When we see the bombs drop, we see clips of things blowing up in the hospital, including the room full of mannequins. If you don't remember seeing the mannequins, it just looks like, oh, this is blowing up. These zombies blow up mannequins that are obviously mannequins. And you're like, wait, are there supposed to be people? Or is that the room of mannequins we saw earlier? It was like,
there is a certain young guest to meet. My darling daughter, Sophie.
This seems like a great, weird, creepy setup. Creepy doctor. He's got his daughter. He's keeping her alive, and like there's stuff about like they're evolving. And
It sounds like it would be creepy.
And it's like gonna feed that person to his daughter, keep his daughter going while she's still evolving. And you're like, oh, this is a whole big setup to like a rescue. The creepy doctor is gonna be a main character. Steven Seagal walks in, shoots him in the face, and that's the end of that.
Who the fuck are you and what do you want?
I'm the motherfucker that's gonna do you what you've been doing to everybody else. I'm the motherfucker that's gonna do you.
What happens to the daughter?
And he has one of his minions kill the daughter.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is how the action works. It's like, oh, this is tense. Oh, zombies are gonna catch the survivors, and then Steven Seagal walks in and chops them.
Oh.
He's not in a chair for 90% of his screen.
No, he's moving. He's mobile.
Which we will talk about later.
Yeah.
How much time he spends in chairs.
He's large and in charge
He
in
loves
this one.
a chair.
He likes the set.
This is the earliest film that we're going to talk about. This is 2009. Do you remember Seagal's character's name?
Oh, I wrote it down. So, someone asked him his name, and I think he says towel.
Have you been bitten? Are you infected?
Who are you?
My name is Tao.
The sun's coming up soon.
I want that area sanitized.
I'm like, did he say towel? Did he just say his name was Towel?
It's Tao, T-A-O.
Okay.
Oh.
No explanation. His name's Tao.
He's really Asian, huh?
He's so Asian. He's the most Asian man who's ever lived.
He really would
He's
like to be.
Russian, Belarusian, Mongolian.
You once stated in an interview that you feel more Asian than American. Is that still the case?
Well, I mean, I was raised in Asia. That's where I got my culture from, my knowledge, my wisdom.
I know that you're a Zen master. What is the essence of Zen?
Steven Seagal just threw me into a pond.
Is he just gone? Got it. What is the essence of Zen? To immerse yourself in it. That's why he threw me in. I mean, he could have just said it.
Is it true that also you have a grandmother in your lineage that is Mongolian? Is that true?
Well, no, it's really probably on my father's side, because all I have is a picture of my father's family, and they got pretty slanted eyes and Asian clothes, so they look like Russian Mongols, but I don't know what they are, but they're something Asian.
Speaking of Russian, you were in Russia just last week with Vladimir Putin, with Fedor Emelianenko.
Well, I mean, I think the thing, I love Vladimir Putin, and I think he's a wonderful human being, a great world leader, a real man. And that's a lot of crack cocaine, boy.
But he didn't say anything after that. He just said,
I'm the cleaner.
towel. I was like, because you're
That's good.
the cleaner?
Towel. Don't forget to bring a towel.
Yeah, that's I was thinking of Towley.
You guys want to get high?
Got pretty slanted eyes.
Someone describes the plot to Final Destination as like a story that was told to them.
So there was this plane with a bunch of passengers aboard. The plane crashes. I don't really remember why, but a few of the passengers somehow survived the crash.
Eventually, all the survivors start disappearing, one by one.
You've heard the story?
Something like it.
As if they've been in the apocalypse for like 15 years.
Yeah, as if it's like
in the before times when there
at
were
that
movies.
point in the future, the plot to Final Destination is like oral tradition.
There's a point where a zombie who has evolved tries to talk one of the survivors into letting him eat her.
Yeah, it was a very poor sales pitch.
Very few of them.
Yeah, some of them can
Some
talk.
of them are a little bit evolved. He's very creepy.
That's why I said it's like shitty I Am Legend, or it's more like Omega Man with Charlton Heston. Because in Omega Man, the infected can talk, and they are actually forming a society.
His voice is like so deep. It's more than Keith David deep.
Yeah.
You should let me eat you, because it'll be fun, and you can become one of us. It's great.
What's the point of running anymore?
closer. I'll tell you a secret.
So why run
Why
and make
fight
yourself stringy and tired? You'll taste better if you just lay down and eat this ham. Don't run, you'll just make yourselves tired and stringy.
That's the thing, God, they're genius.
What happens when like all the people get eaten? Are they gonna like keep a couple people and make them have babies and eat the babies?
I
'Cause
don't
taste
know how
the
they
best?
survive.
Yeah,
The
you'd
zombies all.
Or do they just die out after a certain amount of time?
You'd have to start farming people. Like in
Yeah.
that movie,
You know?
what's
Farm
the-
of the Dead.
Yeah, Farm of the Dead.
I haven't seen it.
No, there's
Is it
one
real?
with the with the vampires and like the
Like
vampires that take.
Do you like hallways? Because this is Hallways, the movie. Yeah, you see, like, look at this world building. Wow. Check out our not zombies. You can kill them by hitting them in the locker and then putting your dick in their face. You can just give them a kick. I'll do it. In a world with no do-overs. As in, like, that was the only take they got, and that was the best scream they could get out of her. You get it?
I was just trying to make sure the area was clean, sir. But
Keith David hires a janitor.
My name is Tao.
Our hero, the janitor, Towel, will stab a little girl if she was bitten. Steven Seagal is very bored, and he'll do that, and then... Alright, I guess we walk away now. Have you ever seen a better hospital logo than this? Do you like watching walk and talks? Well, too bad, because they don't talk most of the time, they just walk. Sometimes they stop and talk. Sometimes they sit and cry. And sometimes they look real sleepy. It's great. A lot of stuff.
I don't know exactly where we are, but all these tunnels lead to the same place, the main security door.
Because that's how hallways work. It's a movie about hallways that doesn't understand, like, how hallways work. You know, these Hollywood hallways, you know. They're still walking. They're still... Oh my god. I think this movie motivated Steven Seagal to put something in his contract about walking. He's like, I'm not walking anymore. Give me a goddamn chair. He should have been in a swivel chair, just like pushing it around with his tippy toes. And then they're like, alright, we can't get in an elevator because what if the power goes out? And then they decide to just get in the elevator anyway. And the elevator immediately dies and traps them. Steven Seagal throws a zombie through a concrete wall. And then the whole plot is about, we gotta get to this one door, and if the power's not on, they can't get out. But that door, that's the door. They definitely can't get through that, or squeeze under the bottom somehow. Alright, we did it, we escaped. This is the last shot of the movie. This is your hero shot. Your heroes escape as the sun comes up. So now they drive off into the sunrise. Your classic heroes driving off screen to the right. Yep, camera frame situation in close up. Oh my god.
The director worked as a camera guy on Ghostbusters 2 and Donnie Darko. He was a Donnie Darko cameraman doing them whip pans.
Dee, why don't you suck a fuck?
Scenery.
How much screen time does Seagal have?
Movie was interminably long. It was like a full hour. Well,
It's at least an hour long.
no, it was like an hour 30. It was like an hour 40.
He was in 24 minutes.
I was gonna say 20.
Still recording.
And I used to tell the guys, and they say, well, can we come as hard as we can? I'd say, yeah, you go as hard as you can, but keep in mind, the harder you come, the harder he's coming back.
Yeah, yeah.
And it comes from my body. It doesn't come from my shoulder or my hips. My whole body flies.
Right.
So it's very different. My punches are very different. And they're quick, you know.
Seagal, why is he famous?
I would love to know.
Money.
Ponytail?
Well, I assume he was in a couple low-budget action movies
And
that made their money back
so
and then some.
you believe in the meritocracy, that he did some good?
No, I don't believe that he did good. I believe that
Someone
the
else did
movie he
good
was
for
in
him.
somehow made money And then
And then
a
a
bigger
career.
studio
Okay.
was like, oh, that guy was in a little movie that made money. If we put him in a slightly bigger movie.
You need to be more cynical about the world.
Did he fuck his way to the top?
A little?
How? Okay. Did some like woman
Blackmail?
executive be like, oh, Seagal, I knew that cock.
Blackmail. Did he blackmail someone?
Blackmail's interesting.
I thought maybe he like was the child of somebody.
Okay.
That's
Is it
And they knew somebody.
Is it he and not Nancy Reagan who's the throat goat of Hollywood?
Throat goat.
Which we didn't talk about, but in the SNL episode Seagal hosts, they talk about this new Nancy Reagan
Yeah, they do.
biography
They
on
do.
Weekend Update. That's the biography that says Nancy Reagan was the throat goat.
Yeah.
That she was given lots of BJs in Hollywood in the 50s.
I thought that was a funny coincidence.
How could Kitty Kelly lie about such a fine and classy lady like Nancy Reagan? Slut. I mean, what kind of position?
The following information mostly comes from a blistering profile written by John Connolly, who is a former New York
Oh.
City police detective.
Yeah, he writes mystery novels.
I didn't know that.
He writes a shit ton of mystery novels.
He wrote this piece for Spy Magazine in, I think it was 1993. This article resulted in many lawsuits and legal battles. I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying these are in an article in Spy Magazine, don't sue me. / fuck you, Seagal, you live in Russia now. And he's in the pro-invade Ukraine party. Oh, the Truth Party. But it's in Russia, and it's the truth that Ukraine belongs to Russia. Like, that's the party he belongs to. Great.
Huh.
He's also a Serbian citizen somehow. The last name is pronounced Seagal.
That's not surprising.
It's like if I try to change the pronunciation of my name to
Rod Length.
Rod Length.
My phone autocorrected her last name to Rod Length.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, that sounds good. I'll do
I
that.
love it. That should be your drag name.
No.
One
Drag
time,
king name.
That's a good one,
That is
actually.
a good
Rod
one.
Length.
Rod
Yeah.
Length, yeah.
Yeah.
one time my dad was texting. It was saying Aaron, which is spelled with a Y. Anyway, it autocorrected to dryness. So, Steven Seagal, in the 70s, he moves to Japan and immediately marries a Japanese woman to avoid the Vietnam draft.
I
Draft dodger.
I mean, I don't blame people for dodging
Yes,
drafts.
I don't blame people for especially the Vietnam draft.
Yeah.
But don't then later in your life be like, I'm a badass, you know,
Sure.
like Cadet Bone Spurs.
Yeah.
Claims to be a Navy SEAL, claims to be CIA, but meanwhile is actually a draft dodger. He claims to have been the first white man to open a dojo in Japan.
He calls himself a white man at that point?
Spy Magazine said this was bullshit. He claims to be the first white person to get a black belt in Aikido. His first wife, the Japanese woman he married, whose name is Miyako Fujitani, she says he got his black belt because the judge fell asleep.
Well, I almost fell asleep during those too. So.
You can imagine falling asleep while watching Seagal do his bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshito, what they call it. Bullshito.
They're not monsters or demons.
He claims to have beat up Yakuza.
Really?
The ones that are missing all their fingers after all the mistakes they made.
But his ex-wife's version of the story is that he one time yelled near a Yakuza.
Not at them?
No, but near them.
Yelled at her near them.
Maybe. Yeah, he's maybe doing
More
some
than
domestic
likely.
violence. And the Yakuza was like,
Have you ever had to use Aikido? And that was one of the ones I was looking for to tell you we probably shouldn't, address that. But yeah, hundreds of times, we've had to, use this in the streets, and that's how you know what works and what doesn't.
he claims to have worked security consulting for Desmond Tutu, the Shah of Iran, and Anwar Sadat.
Yeah, that's not a good list of
Not a good list.
people to work security for.
The Shah of Iran was overthrown in 1979.
Yes.
Sadat was assassinated in 81.
So he's slacking?
Was he also a security consultant for Osama bin Laden?
Could have been. Interesting.
Yeah.
But this is, in 79 and 81 is when they're ousted. Seagal is like 27 and a nobody. Like, what? They called up
Consultant.
Japan and they're like, get me the only white man in Japan that runs a dojo. And he was like, you, should hire security people. And that was his insulting. Good
We
job.
really want some advice. I think we'll go to this guy.
Yeah. They have 2 kids in Japan.
They had sex at least
That's what I was
Twice.
thinking, yeah.
Could have been twins. I don't have that down. So.
Oh, it could have been twins?
Could have been twins. Maybe not once.
Well.
So he decides he's not
It
happy.
could have been artificial insemination.
Could have been.
She's like, no, you can jizz in a cup. We'll work this out later.
Turkey baster.
Tell me more about turkey base. He decided he's not happy in Japan. I guess the Vietnam's over, so he's ready to go back.
The Vietnam is over?
The Vietnam is over. So he asks her to give him a whole bunch of money. She gives him her life savings. What's his plan? He's going to go back to America to get rich how?
Especially in the 80s. Like, I would rather be in Japan.
Security consulting.
Yeah.
He thinks he's gonna be in a kung fu movie.
His real plan is to go open Aikido dojos or as a chef opening restaurants. Either way.
Is he good?
Because he
at
thinks
that?
he's a chef too, which we see in Under Siege.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well yeah, because he's
It's
a
a running
chef.
theme. Steven Seagal thinks he's good at everything, and then he's like, yeah, I'm a chef. And then his character in the movie is a chef, and then afterwards he's like, no, yeah, I'm a chef. See, it was in a movie. Like, he cannot
We
keep track.
didn't even see him make anything himself though.
Oh, he made a cake in
I think
Under
he
Siege
stirred
2.
something.
He stirred it, and then he put it in a microwave.
I was gonna say, but would that make him a chef?
No. He takes her life savings, he moves to LA, opens a dojo. He also opens another one in Taos. Meanwhile, he illegally marries another woman.
Oh.
Still married to the first wife. He
Does she
marries-
know?
I don't think so. He marries Adrienne LaRussa, who is a soap opera actress. She was on Days of Our Lives. He somehow is at dinner with Jerry Pam, who is an agent. And he asks this guy, how do I get famous? And the agent says, hang out with famous people. Yeah. He asks this agent to be set up with a woman. He asks to be set up with Kelly LeBrock, who was the magical woman in Weird Science.
Oh, yeah.
This is like right around that time.
Yeah, she was big.
That like sex robot lady in Weird Science. Can you hook me up with her? This somehow works. He meets Kelly LeBrock, almost immediately impregnates her, while he's also married to 2 other women.
What? What are his pickup lines?
I know. Where is this charisma?
Where's his game?
He
What
can't
is his
deliver
game?
dialogue for shit on
Yes.
screen. How does he talk to people in real life?
Money now and a lot more when I get in that office. You can take that to the bank.
I'm gonna take you to the bank, Senator Trent. To the blood bank.
Like, what?
And he
I
hasn't
don't get
even
it.
been in a
Would
movie
it make me
yet?
sexier if I just
He is
squint
not acting yet.
and say like, yeah, baby, you're really hot.
I think I'm becoming less attracted
we
to
do
you.
know.
You want to drink some wine and maybe fall asleep and I'll touch you.
It's in the first episode. Juliana Margulies, when she was like auditioning or something, he brings her back to his hotel room and says he's a healer, and then reads her palm and tells her she has weak kidneys.
Oh, he gets him with the weird, dumb Buddhist
He's like,
crap.
but I'm a fixer with my penis.
The
I'm a
pseudo-Buddhist
healer.
crap.
Oh, I know,
Okay.
acupuncture.
I mean, okay, if a guy was like, hey babe, you've got weak kidneys. I don't think I would be turned on.
I would be
You
like,
know
I
what's
think
good?
I need to go see a
organ?
doctor.
I
You know
know.
what's good
Kind
for
of
weak
advice.
kidneys?
This dick.
Deep dicking.
Oh,
If someone's like, you have weak, this organ would get you going. You want a man that makes you weak in the knees. don't you?
Yeah.
Oh,
But
your
I
patellar
don't know if
tendon's
that's
about
an
to snap.
organ.
Would that do it?
no.
he knows that I'm a smoker, so he could probably guess that my lungs
Maybe
are bad.
this is some very advanced
Your lungs are
negging.
bad.
Yeah.
You think negging is like,
Yeah.
you could look better if you dyed your hair. That's a, kind
Yeah.
of neg. And he's like, your kidneys are like not functioning well.
Was it coke?
Everybody's on coke, so yeah, maybe.
And that's a lot of crack cocaine, man.
So LaRussa asks him for an annulment, and they get an annulment, except she pays him for months afterward to keep him out of her life.
Okay.
I mean,
wow.
Yeah.
See, this is kind of interesting. I don't
He's
know if
not
I think
that
it's
bad,
hot.
right?
It was
Whoa.
the 80s.
Yeah, so there's
No, the
very
picture on
long-
the right, he's way too young.
Yeah, that's like 70s Seagal. Steven Seagal does get some work in Hollywood as a stunt/fight choreography person, but he's an asshole because he breaks Sean Connery's wrist while making Never Say Never Again. He was.
Oh, that
this
movie
isn't-
sucks.
This isn't during a
Sean
scene.
Connery deserved that.
I was going to
for
say,
making that
Sean
movie.
Connery is
this
kind of
maybe
an
his
abusive
last
asshole, too.
Yeah.
So.
You did an interview in which you said, it's not the worst thing to slap a woman now and then. As I remember, you said you don't do it with a clenched fist, it's better to do it with an open hand. Yeah, remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I didn't love that.
I haven't changed my opinion.
You haven't?
No.
So it's the only unofficial.
It was.
Oh, it's actually the second
He did.
unofficial Bond
Casino
film
Royale.
after the first Casino Royale. This is the one where it's not Broccoli produced. The people who produced it could only get the rights to the name James Bond and the plot to Thunderball. And so what do? They get the original Bond actor from Thunderball and remake Thunderball with an old-ass Sean Connery?
You know, the principle is it's defense, so it's a pyramid, and I got a bit flash, and I did that, and he broke my wrist. Wow.
It's like a running theme with Seagal is he's a jerk to stunt people.
He's notorious of breaking people's arms, legs, ribs, cutting people, you know. Not so much Van Damme, you know. Most of the time with Van Damme, it was an accident. But Seagal's notorious. And there was these breakaway pool sticks alongside real pool sticks. Seagal knew where the breakaways were and knew where the real ones were. On action, during the fight, instead of grabbing the breakaways, the fake ones, he grabbed the real ones. And he broke them over Sven's head.
John Leguizamo has a story on the set of Executive Decision.
And we come in for rehearsals, and he comes in, I'm in command. What I say is law. Anybody doesn't agree? And I was like, he taekwondo'd my ass against the brick wall. He went, and caught me off guard, knocked all the air at me. I was like, why? Why? What I really want to say is how big and fat he is, how he runs like a girl. And his publicist told my publicist that he wants to punch me out. But he can't because he's going to be in jail soon, so I'll be fine.
He is.
Isn't he?
His Taos dojo fails, so now he's an unemployed, probably, fight choreographer because he broke Sean Connery's wrist. So he's living with his wife, his third wife now. He arranges for a, quote, mercenary who knew to steal his wife's car for the insurance money.
Oh, that's what the back of Soldier of Fortune is for. Insurance fraud.
Yeah.
I always wondered.
100% that's what that's
like, what do you hire mercenaries for in America these days?
In
Insurance
interviews,
fraud.
he claims to be hunting the monster that stole his wife's car. So
Who he hired.
Is he going to write a book called If I Stole Her Car? You know, pull an OJ. According to friends, he will disappear for a while, come back with lots of cash. Various rumors. What is he doing? Drug deals, smuggling drugs, sex trafficking.
I see that.
He claimed to some friends that he pulled off a hit for the mob. That's what his
No
money came
way.
from. Somewhere in here, he somehow hooks up with super agent Michael Ovitz, who's one of the co-founders of CAA, which is one of the big agencies. He was an agent for Tom Cruise, Kevin Costner, John Belushi, Michael Douglas, Bill Murray, Sylvester Stallone, Barbara Streisand, Steven Spielberg, Sidney Pollack. Super agent, right? He was his Aikido teacher.
Oh.
This is one of the stories, one of the rumors where Seagal's career comes from. Michael Ovitz, super agent, has a bet with someone, which is, I bet you I'm such a super agent, I can take the least charismatic asshole in the world, I can make them into a movie star.
He got My Fair Ladied?
He got rhinestoned.
Oh, I
This is
love
rhinestone.
that.
I'm gonna pick this bullshit fucking Aikido teacher. I'm gonna make him a movie star. Damn. So Michael Ovitz arranges a screen test with Warner Brothers with $50,000 of his own money. This is how much
was he
cocaine-
betting
How much was
on?
the bet?
How much was the bet that you can, you know, and how much cocaine is involved in all of these decisions?
It's gotta be
All of
fueled.
them. It goes horribly, as you would imagine, because Steven Seagal talks like this.
Yeah.
And it's like, charismatic.
He doesn't even really deliver it with any volume.
I know, it drives me insane.
Quite bland.
It really
It's like
puts-
the white people cooking where there's
really
no
puts
spice.
a lot, it really puts a lot of
He's the white
strain.
people cooking of acting.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's no like
perfect.
herbs or spices, not even salt or
That's
pepper up
insulting
in
to
there.
French cooking.
They probably did have some kind of, how do you say, shinpai means like, you know, maybe they were a little concerned about that.
Reservations, maybe?
Reservations.
Yeah.
And so they did ask me to do a screen test, and I did. And they said, man, you know, this guy has got so much, you know, going on. He's got the charisma, he's got the look, he's got the action. We feel confident after that. And so they handed me 2 or 3 scripts, and they said, you know, make any of these you want. I read them. I came to America as a writer.
So Ovitz is then doing the casting for Lethal Weapon 2, and he makes a deal with the studio, is I will take less money to do the casting for you if you put Steven Seagal in another movie. And that is how his career starts.
Man,
It's just a back,
Like, not
it's
this
just
one,
a backdoor
please.
deal.
Yeah.
I wish my life would get started on a backdoor deal.
You,
Like
got,
just
you,
for
you
fun.
have to hang
I'm
around
waiting.
rich people on drugs who, be
Yeah,
like,
who make
I
bad
could make
decisions."
fucking anybody into a movie star.
Make
and you're
me
like,
a movie star.
That's me next, please.
There is a different rumor, a different version, which is Seagal has mob connections, and his mob connections bribed people to get him into movies.
I feel like this is a story he wants.
Maybe, but
They're both bad for him,
they're
though.
both bad for him.
But one is slightly
One is cooler. Yeah, one
Yeah.
is
Slightly.
cooler.
He has at times claimed to have actually been a Navy SEAL. Also, he has claimed he is in the CIA.
Well, I improvise, in special forces, we say something like, there's this phrase that is common amongst operators. We say adapt and overcome. And coming up with the idea of putting that cue ball inside a rag and using it against all those people was a really good idea that really works.
It did.
In 1988, he's hanging out with Gary Goldman, who is an actual former soldier.
Gary Goldman, not Gary Oldman.
Not Gary Oldman, Gary
Okay.
Goldman. And Randy Widner, who is a stuntman. I think they're maybe both stuntmen. The three of them decide to go scuba diving / treasure hunting in Barbados. No cocaine is involved in these decisions, surely. It's
course
1988. Let's go scuba diving in Barbados.
Oh, I
We'll
wonder
find
if we'll find treasure.
Of course you will. Oh, okay.
Okay.
According to Goldman, while they were on the boat, Seagal bragged to him about his time as a Navy SEAL. But then when they went to do some actual diving, Goldman stated, quote, he started screaming and panicking and was sure he was going to die. And they had to pull him out of the water.
Nope.
So he can't scuba dive. But he's a Navy SEAL.
Possibly, yeah. Possible that he's not a Navy SEAL.
He concluded that Seagal would, quote, surely die of starvation if he was given a compass and a map that led to a restaurant 5 miles away.
What kind of babbling bullshit is this?
Seagal then approaches a 68-year-old ex-CIA man, Robert Strickland, offers him $50,000 to kill Gary Goldman.
Oh.
Because Gary Goldman's telling people he's not really a Navy SEAL.
$50,000 is not enough to hire someone
actually, that's
to
a
kill
lot
someone.
for a hit.
Oh,
Is it?
58K? Is it too much?
So I don't want to Google it because I don't want to get in trouble.
I feel like, okay, you're gonna risk going to prison for however long to kill someone.
Bromley, how much would you need to do a hit?
This is a good question. I'm gonna say.
And I have someone in mind, so
Who do you have in mind?
I'll tell you after you give me the
Okay,
price.
I'm gonna say.
Write it down, slide it across the table. Write it on my forehead.
Oh my god, just underneath your hairline.
I'm gonna say at least 5 million.
5 million.
That was my number.
Okay.
That was my number.
Just for the record, 4.99 million. I'll do it.
Okay.
A writer writes an unflattering piece about Seagal in Gentleman's Quarterly, whose name I think is Alan Richmond. So we've got Gary not Oldman and Alan not Rickman. Alan Richmond.
This is like the off-brand.
Yes. So after that, Seagal approaches an unnamed intelligence consultant and hatches a plan. What is this plan for this writer?
To give him violent diarrhea.
Close.
In public.
Not murder.
Maim him?
Maim, not quite. It's not that bad. Close.
We'll make everyone think he's gay.
Yes.
But he is gay.
Yes. Well, he's not gay. He's
Oh.
not gay, but he wants to frame him with photos of him doing gay stuff in a car.
And he's like, this is Hollywood. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. People have been gay there forever.
Yeah.
Rock
Right.
Hudson, baby.
So later, Strickland is watching Arsenio. Seagal is on Arsenio, is telling a story about something, and it's a story Strickland had told him. It's a story that happened to Strickland.
They just got a date for you to do Saturday Night Live to host it?
Apparently.
Are you gonna do that?
Yeah, why not?
Have you ever done comedy?
Yeah, I used to do stand-up.
Stop, Steven, stop.
It's a joke.
You're
That's
too
my
serious.
first attempt at comedy right there, and I failed, so maybe I better not do the show.
No, I think you'll be fine.
Everyone who knows me thinks I can be very funny. I would love to do a comedy.
Seagal co-founds a film company in 1990 with a man named Julius Nasso. In your wildest dreams, who is Julius Nasso?
He was the creator of Orange Julius.
Oh, that's good.
The basis for the character Julius from Pulp Fiction.
So Julius Nasso is a supplier of pharmaceuticals for merchant ships.
What?
He legally sells legal drugs to ships.
For them to
He's
do what with?
definitely not in the mafia or anything. That's definitely not some cover.
The
For,
people
like,
that
their
are on
headaches?
boats.
Or,
Because they
like-
can't just get it while they're on shore.
I guess. I
He
don't
takes
know.
a boat. He takes
I'm not
drugs
sure.
on the land.
He supplies
on a boat to another boat.
For like when the sailors get a little headache or
Yeah.
if they get a little seasick, he gives them those bands. He like buys those bands with the
Probably
little thing.
bands.
According to Nasso, they met because they both knew Tony Danza. Tony Danza says, I don't know Julius
Neither of
Nasso
them.
at all. This is bullshit. Later, the story is that he and Seagal are like distant cousins. Steven Seagal's mother says that is not true. Nasso's uncle owned a concrete company in New York, which was involved in the mafia. Members of the Gambino crime family show up as extras in many of their early films. Seagal is deposed in some sort of case, unrelated to any of this. He claims under oath he has no idea how much money he has, what he owns, or what deal he has with Warner Brothers, if he has one at all. He just knows absolutely nothing.
I don't always know how much money is in my bank account.
Do you own this house here? I don't know.
I
I
definitely
don't know. I mean, I get anxious whenever I.
when you get deposed.
Do you own this yacht? I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe my wife does, maybe.
Around the year 2000, we get a situation with Julius Nasso and Steven Seagal, who've been partners in crime, filmmaking partners. Apparently, Nasso had loaned Seagal $500,000. Maybe that's the money used to pay bribes to Michael Ovitz to get a film career started. Maybe you go to the mafia, borrow some money, pay off an agent, get put in a movie. Seagal is asked, what is this $500,000 loan for? He has a one-word answer, and I would like a guess.
Butt stuff.
Why
Hyphenated.
butt stuff?
Research.
Research is good. I like that.
That's good.
Research.
Art.
His answer was taxes.
That was somewhere along the same lines as what I was
I don't pay
thinking,
taxes
too.
to the U.S. government, but I do pay it to
Research.
some private individuals.
Yes. So in the year 2000, Nasso wants his money back. Says that Seagal now owes him $3 million.
God damn.
Oh,
That's
wait,
some
it's
compound
accumulated some interest.
Yeah, you borrow money from the mafia, you're not getting 2% interest.
Well, don't they at that point start breaking legs? Because if he
They
could
do.
pay someone $50,000
But
to
who?
kill a motherfucker,
Who could break Seagal's legs? He's so badass.
the mob probably.
The mob now is shaking him down for this $3 million. Seagal goes to the feds and says, oh, this crime family is like shaking me down. So feds would get involved. They get like wiretaps. Several mafia guys go to prison over this, over extortion. They're extorting Seagal. Nasso is charged with extortion, but is never sent to prison.
Oh, yeah, because he turned.
There are FBI recordings of mafia guys talking about when they were shaking down Seagal. According to the FBI's people talking about these recordings, even when Seagal was the only person in the room who had a gun, he was still a coward. This is what the mafia dudes were joking about. They're like, we went to shake him down. We don't have guns. He's got a gun. He was still a little pussy about it. Which, I mean, what are you going to do? Shoot two mafia guys? That's not going to go well.
Yeah,
They're like a Hydra.
I
You
would be
shoot two, you got
afraid.
8 to deal with now.
But it's just funny the mafia was laughing about it.
Have you ever been shot?
Yes.
Stabbed?
Cut, not stabbed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you always armed?
Yes.
During this trial, Seagal makes several comments to...
Under oath?
Under oath, which leads to a man named Herbert Saunders, who is a retired intelligence officer. So he comes out and explains that he was the original source back in that article in Spy Magazine. He then goes on to reveal Seagal asked him to hack into confidential DEA files because he believed the DEA was trying to frame him.
Yeah, sure. Let me just
How
get my,
paranoid are you?
What are they framing him for?
Having lots of cocaine. He surely doesn't have that.
Oh, definitely not.
No one had cocaine.
Saunders told, there's apparently a documentary being made about this. He goes to these documentarians, and I've got a quote. I think he sees himself in roles he's played in movies, ranging from hard-nosed tough cop to guy who's saving mongooses in the woods of Oregon. I don't think he's able to sort out fantasy from fact.
He's such a method actor. He just embodies the role.
He just thinks, if he did it in a movie, he thinks he really did it.
They become like past lives.
On deadly ground because of the speech in the end, which, you know, is exactly what Al Gore did, you know, 18 years later, then he got an Academy Award and a Nobel Peace Prize for. I was a little ahead of my time.
He said, things got weird right from the start. First, the actor suggested to the veteran CIA official that he had worked for the CIA. He's telling an ex-CIA guy, yeah, I worked for the CIA too.
He just said it because he didn't think anyone would check.
Yeah. He's saying this to a CIA person.
Well, clearly Seagal has never been to the, you know, company picnic, so.
Hey, you weren't in the sack race.
He was about to open a restaurant in Chicago, had a mortal enemy back from his days in Southeast Asia, and was worried the man would assassinate him during the ribbon cutting at his restaurant in Chicago. Saunders comes back with a security plan. Seagal seemed unimpressed with it and said, wait, you mean you wouldn't just go whack him? So his security plan was, you should go kill the guy.
Before he kills me.
Yeah.
Preemptive strike.
He's trying to send him to go like to Bangkok to do a killing. From time to time, he would call me and ask me to do something, said Saunders. Most of it was kind of crazy, just kind of. So, you know. So that's Steven Seagal for you. That is where his career comes from.
Wow.
When I was a little girl, my mother used to tell me a story about a princess. When the princess met her prince, Their love grew stronger than the waves crashing against the shore.
Asian Connection.
Yeah, let's do Asian
the one with the
Connection.
worst title.
That's what it's called?
Asian Connection.
Well, there's a long list of
Why?
action movies,
French
starting
Connection.
with The French Connection, followed by Bruce Lee's The Chinese Connection.
Based off of a book called I think it's the
Is
Mexican.
it a book?
Or,
I know that it says it's based on a story.
It might just be a short story.
It's probably based on an outline of a screenplay because this story is by Tom Sizemore. He always plays like a dude you could picture in a biker bar. In real life, he's a very troubled, lots of drugs, did some meth, and wrote an outline for a script.
But it was
somebody
originally-
paid him for it, and then they were like, "Oh, this isn't going anywhere," because
Yeah.
Tom Sizemore's in rehab now.
It was originally the
Oh
Mexican
yeah,
Connection.
Tom Sizemore.
Oh. Yeah.
He looks like a Reservoir Dogs reject.
Okay, so Asian Connection, Gromling, let's
Asian
do it.
Connection.
Y'all have done a great job. I just want to say that violence is the last resort.
So I feel like Seagal in this movie, he's more just kind of like a flavor. He is a drug lord. He's a big bad, but you kind of wonder, he's not like the bad. He's like,
You know, there's the hooker with a heart of gold.
Yeah.
This is the big bad with a heart of gold.
yeah. Like the main character are these two white guys going around stealing money from banks. So-
Bank robbery.
Yeah.
Bank robbering.
But it's narrated by an Asian woman.
She taught me not to take shortcuts in life. When I got older, I didn't go for the quick cash-in go-go bars like some other girls I knew. Jack and I were working towards our dream, so that someday we can live on that beautiful island together.
And I think she's meant to be the main character, but you don't really. Not really, but like it's kind of told through her story because you keep getting these lame-ass voiceovers that are like,
I'm an Asian lady and I'm in love with this white man. It's just.
Do you have names for anyone?
No.
Okay. How about Steven Seagal? the
Oh
big- the
wait,
big
Jack
bad?
and
Jack.
Sam.
In my life story, the monster's name was Gan Siran Kiri, a man whom I later found out was a ruthless crime lord.
That's Seagal's character.
Jan with a G?
It's G-A-N.
Gan.
Gan.
So like Seagal's character is. There's several scenes where he explains to Asian women something.
Wow, mansplaining across the world.
Yeah, it's just whatever he wants to talk about.
This is called Rose Belle de Roses. It's known as the Rose of Compassion. It's a climbing tea rose, kind of common, but I've always loved it. My mama used to grow these in America. Came to Asia quite a while back and fell in love with this place. And
Because like when he explains vegetarianism.
this fish, people saying, well, I shouldn't eat the fish because the fish is, you know.
How much of his screen time is spent sitting down? 75%?
Yeah, easily.
He has action scenes where he's sitting down. Seagal is the big bad, runs some kind of drug empire in Cambodia.
The main character is one's an American and the other's an Australian.
So Jack is your generic, I am attractive white man.
Yeah, I have nothing bad about me, but nothing good. And then
Your classic hot bad boy.
yeah, Sam, he is kind of loose cannon.
Sam is your classic partner in crime who's too loose of a cannon.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, we're good. Get out of here. Minute 45, go! You telling me it's a 2 for land? Come on, man.
How many times does Seagal creepily grab an Asian woman's butt? Just say his Asian fetishism. We see some.
Oh,
movies,
it
he
was
grabs some butts.
definitely fetishistic. He also felt like he was like more tan than normal.
Like he has an orange face, like he's Trump.
Yeah, he's kind of orange faced, and I don't know, his hair was like extra black.
They like tried to make him look
Sharpie
as
brown.
if
Not
he was-
Sharpie brown.
Shoe polish black.
Darker
Shoe
than this?
polish black. Yeah, it's darker than that. And I felt like he was trying to look kind of Asian-y.
Call you if anything happens.
Okay. You're gonna have to go take care of this. Be careful.
They do a bank robbery
They
in
do a bank
Cambodia,
robbery.
but they live in Thailand.
Yeah. And so like they have to cross the border.
So this first heist as one of the most boring heist getaway sequences of all time. They get on their motorcycles and drive away, and they're driving fast, and they're looking over their shoulders. Oh, are we being followed? But they're not being followed.
No.
No one follows them.
Are we being followed?
No.
No.
Then they stop and they like, oh, look at all this money. This is a lot of money for a bank. It's a suspicious amount of money. That's the plot.
Oh, mob bank.
They have to cross the border.
Yes.
And they're like, we gotta hide the money on
Yeah,
us. They
and
have to
then-
like tape the money on their bodies. So then they gotta go through the border check, and it's a tense. Oh, we're gonna look at your passport. All right, you can go through.
I know.
Like nothing goes wrong in any of this getaway. It's the
No.
most boring getaway scene, and it takes so long. There's
Yeah.
so many just like long shots of them driving.
And then we meet, Avalon, and she's giving these
Same.
terrible voiceovers. I'm just really committed to you. You can do no wrong. And she goes on about how her and her boyfriends are gonna live on an island someday, and there's no shortcuts. But I'm like, bro, you're dating a criminal.
Yeah. Because of she does voiceover, so it's like it's her perspective about like, I have a boyfriend and we're great.
He's so sweet.
But then he robbed from the wrong people.
Yeah, he's the main character, but
She does this voiceovers.
she does all
for
these
some reason.
voiceovers.
Oh, so that's how you know he dies before the end.
Yes. And then they have sex on a pile of money.
Do me on all of this cash.
Sounds fun.
Ooh,
And
of course
she's-
you do.
Yeah, and she's like totally
Danger
into it,
Diabolic
even though
style.
she was like, I don't want to take any shortcuts. I'm a hardworking waitress.
She's like, where'd this money come from? He's like, I robbed a bank because I love you. And she's like, okay.
Sounds
We just
fun.
talked into it very quickly.
Let's get some off the bucket list real quick while we're at it.
Let's add something to Seagal's expertise. In this film, we find out he's an expert in flowers.
Yeah,
He's like a flowerologist.
yeah, and in that scene he talks about how he came to Asia. He doesn't say I came to Cambodia or it's I came to Asia.
Yeah. So they get away with
Unreal.
the bank robbery. They're back in Thailand. They're safe, and they live happily ever after, right?
Yep, that's how it ends.
That's the whole movie.
Nope. So somehow one of the henchmen finds out that it's this guy.
So how does he track down?
I forget.
They say the bills were marked.
That's funny. If that's the way I see it, I'll do that. It's all marked. And you were so eager to exchange it that it showed up on my radar real quick.
Just like, okay, so they're spending the money in Thailand when they stole it from Cambodia.
Also, how did
the money get back?
It's
to-
U.S. dollars. So they're like, these are marked U.S.
Wait, they
dollars.
stole U.S. dollars
Yes.
from
Well, this is part of. They're like, that was suspicious. There's all these U.S. dollars. Yeah. So somehow Seagal, the criminal, his henchman, is able to track down through these marked bills in another country. It's like, so he's connected in like the government of another country. I don't know how that's supposed to work.
So the henchman makes a deal, kind of blackmails him really into doing more robberies. You'll get more money. I'll get a cut.
He's working for Seagal, but he is betraying Seagal and going to use Jack to rob all the Cambodian banks where Seagal is stashing his tons and tons of U.S. dollars for some reason.
Aren't you the motherfucker that told me that that's the safest place to put my money?
So he's like, oh, I know where all that money is, so I'm going to get this robber guy to steal all that money. I'm going to take a cut, probably then just kill him and take all of it, is ultimately his
I mean,
plan.
that's what I would do.
Yeah,
So
that's what I would do
he's
as well.
betraying Seagal. And repeatedly Seagal is like, wait, you told me to put this money in a bank and it would be safe. And then like doesn't take it out of the bank.
Yeah.
And then like
Just leaves it.
they keep doing more and more bank robberies and he keeps leaving it in all these other banks.
Yeah, and it's just like a
You told my
series of-
you told me my motherfucking money would be safe in these motherfucking banks.
Yeah.
Because one of my most trusted employees told me that was the safe place to put my motherfucking money. And I don't want him dead today.
Yeah, so we get a heist montage. Tell me
Yeah.
about this heist montage. Is it an exciting, interesting heist montage?
I don't even remember. It's been a week.
Not that interesting, I guess.
They have a technique.
What
They
is-
drive up in a motorcycle, park around the corner.
Yeah.
They walk in, they show guns, they
They
get
get
money,
money.
they leave.
I
This
mean-
is the very exciting heist.
You know what? That's classic.
that's
That's how they do it.
Old-fashioned way of doing
Classic
it.
smash and grab drop. We see this happen, I don't know, 8 times. Like the movie treats it, you know, you get the like, oh, the music, oh, we're doing a cool, exciting heist, and it's like, give me the money. Meanwhile, his partner, who's the loose cannon, every time is either like shooting the gun for no reason or just shooting a random hostage for no reason.
Yeah, and then Jack is like, don't do
Stop
that.
shooting the hostages.
Don't
He's
do
like,
that.
oh, fuck it, I don't care. I'm the loose cannon.
Jack goes to buy guns from the gun dealer.
Is a big actor, Michael Jai White.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
He's in it for one scene as the guy who sells him guns,
Yeah.
and that's it. He's done.
Yeah.
I love Michael Jai White.
That scene felt like it was filmed in Los Angeles, while the rest of it was filmed in Thailand.
Yeah.
The mob starts to crack down, so they go to do a heist, and the mob's waiting for them. Now, when we have a shootout in a Seagal film in 2016, do we have a lot of like good effects?
No.
When someone gets shot, or is it squibs and real fake blood on the set?
No, I think
Digital bullshit?
digital bullshit.
Oh.
It's
Digital
all
bullshit.
digital
How about-
CGI blood.
How about bullet holes in a car and stuff? Digital bullshit.
Yeah.
Clearly just like someone painted on a bullet hole here.
Yeah.
You can see sometimes the camera pans and they like kind of shift on the car. And it's
Yeah.
like, that's not good. A lot of fake effects,
Yeah.
fake fire
The
effects,
fake blood was so
muzzle
bad.
flash.
Interesting.
Both of these movies.
Fake muzzle flash, fake bullet
I
holes,
mean,
fake
boring.
blood spurts.
Okay, I
Nonsense.
don't mind the fake muzzle flash as much. It's very brief. I feel like that's acceptable.
The problem with it is there's no recoil in the gun. So the actors, you know, are just going.
They've
And so
never
they're-
shot a gun anyways.
Right, so they never can run out. Like when you're shooting a movie, when you're using blanks, you will run out of blanks and have to reload.
Yeah.
And so like, it is still a thing where they like shoot too much, they don't reload enough. In this, the end scene, he's got a pistol, and I think we need to count it. I think he fires maybe 80 rounds before he reloads his pistol. Because they don't run out of blanks. He's just doing this repeatedly, and they can just keep adding muzzle flashes. He does eventually reload it, I think, once, and you're like, oh, okay. Like,
He's
we
got a
really bothered
lot
there.
of
Did they get the slide action on the gun?
Yeah, what happens to the partner?
He gets killed.
Yeah, he does die. I mean, both characters
He's a
die.
loose cannon, though.
The loose cannon partner dies.
Yeah, because he like did something.
I want to get wasted, you know?
Fuck out of the car, motherfucker!
And that's when he brings on Avalon. Avalon's like, I can do it. I can be the girl of your dreams and the partner of your dreams.
I'm perfect.
Right. So they have
I
to,
know how to shoot a gun.
My father taught me how to shoot the snot off any predator on Earth.
They have to pull one last job for some reason to get their money to go retire on an island, I guess. After they've pulled like 19 of these. And I remember she said something about like, I've been listening to all your plans. I know all the details of the heist. It was like, what the fucking details? They just walk into the gun and go, give me the money. And they're like, all right. And then they drive away. What a heist.
I've listened to every detail of your other jobs. I know what to do.
So of course it doesn't go well. And Seagal, it's them versus Seagal and his crew.
Cap talk, everybody down. This is a robbery. You. Open the fucking door. You. Hey, get out. Get the fuck out. You over there, there.
So they're like being chased.
That's them in Nilan's car. Turn around.
Just keep driving, baby.
And Seagal is kind of on point here.
He's
yeah.
sitting, but he's in a car and he's shooting.
He's on the move.
So there's a part, they're in like a truck.
All right, we're after that BMW. Don't let him get away.
There are so many bits where they're like shooting. He's like getting out the window, shooting out at the car behind them. The car behind them is shooting at them. No one's ever hit in any of these sequences. There's 1,000 bullets fired at these two cars. No one's ever hit by them.
The windows?
Windshields are impervious. So Seagal's in, they're in like a big truck. It's like a moving truck behind them. They're chasing Jack and Avalon are in a regular sized truck, and he's like, slow down. And he very carefully shoots at some barrels that are on the side of the road.
Bond move.
And they explode, of
Bond
course.
move.
Yeah.
Basically rounds, none hit.
Basically,
that one.
Basically, this movie is a Grand Theft Auto mission.
No, that's like a specific point of one of the Bond games.
It was one of the ones on PlayStation 2.
Yeah, I have it. And you got Bond points for doing cool shit like not
Yeah.
shooting the bad guys, but shooting the barrels next to the bad guys.
Okay, like, oh, we're gonna get away. But they don't. So they're trying to get to a boat to get to their island they're gonna retire to with their $1 million.
Looks like we're home free now, huh?
Jack, you're here.
Seagal and his crew catch up to Avalon and Jack. What happens?
I'm lost here.
Let me have a think about it.
Jack dies.
Can you build up to it a little bit?
Jack dies.
He shoots his gun 90 times
Yeah, he
without
shoots
reloading.
his gun a bunch.
Jack! No!
Tell me about his death. You don't remember?
I don't
one of those
remember.
sputters
I had such a hard time with these movies.
They're so tragically
I'm gonna act
boring.
this out. You ready for this?
Please do.
I'm ready to see
So, leave her alone. Let her live. Don't hurt her.
Yeah.
Don't hurt her. Oh, Avalon. Hey, baby. So he does this death
Fake
rattle,
out.
death gasp thing.
Yeah.
But then he turns and sees her and smiles, and it's like, hey, baby.
Dies with his eyes open?
And smiling.
Jack, please don't leave me. Please don't.
Hey, baby.
Jack?
Oh.
It's the weirdest death I've ever seen.
That is so
It was
strange.
weird. But then it cuts to an island, and she's on.
Yeah, so
she's got double the money to spend
She's got the $1 million.
Yeah.
Seagal has them caught. He's dead. And what does Seagal do?
He goes with her.
He lets her get away with the money
Yeah,
because
because she's a
Seagal
hottie.
murders any man, but Seagal likes them ladies, especially Asian ladies.
I bet,
He's like,
I
"Oh,
bet
lady."
he was like, if you fuck me, I'll let you go.
That
So
probably is what
she
happened to
has sex with
exactly
her.
that tone.
So Seagal has this repeatedly. We'll see in other films. He lets the ladies live, but dudes, nah, he's gonna murder the dudes. It ends like Blade Runner.
Oh, tears in the rain.
In Blade Runner, Harrison Ford. I don't know why he saved my life in voiceover, right?
Why?
This ends with her going, I don't know why he saved my life and let me retire to the island with that $1 million. And then it cuts to her sipping Mai Tais on the beach.
I don't know why Ganser spared my life that day. I guess even monsters have a soft spot. Maybe I reminded him of someone in his life. Compassion still lived in him somewhere. I'm grateful I lived the fairy tale with Jack, if only for a short time.
Honestly, goals though.
So she really makes off great. This is amazing.
She not only had enough money, they both together were planning to run off, so now she's got double. She can stay double as long before she's got to figure out some shit.
That could last quite a while. That's a lot of Mai Tais.
With a body like this?
We skipped over a part where he apparently runs underground boxing rings or something, and there's two dudes who are sparring. Seagal walks in and with one punch knocks out both of them. These are professional fighters. He comes in and goes, one punch, and it goes, psh, psh.
Really
Hits both
trying
of
to
them,
build
knocks
that
them both
illusion
down. He's like,
of
that's
what he
how
thinks
bad.
he
And they're
can
like,
do.
I guess the fight's canceled. Seagal ruined our fight. That's how badass he is. In addition to being flower expert.
Flower expert,
Flower expert.
seducer of women, one punch, hitman.
I'm perfect.
Find out who the fucking rat is on the inside. This fish. Because I think we know this is an inside job. Don't we?
They cross the border, they do the job, and they go back.
Well, I'll get the money back, but
There was just this freak. He was like one of us, but he wasn't.
and I seen that. At this point, I'm not as concerned about the money as my feelings.
I'm lost here.
Let me have a think about it.
Who the fuck are you and what do you want?
I'm the motherfucker that's gonna do you.
Good, you know, kick. They got pretty slanted eyes.
You're gonna have to go take care of this. Be careful.
I'm perfect.
My punches are very different, and they're quick, you know,
Oh.
Hey, baby.